new stories on new updates. Let me start, apart from Ferran Torres, again official to Paris Saint-Germain, 50 million euros transfer fee from Barcelona, and Mika Götze is going to be the next one. Another story I wanted to mention linked to Paris Saint-Germain is regarding Bradley Barcola. Because for Bradley Barcola, today, Luis Enrique, Paris Saint-Germain manager, shows up in press conference, and when asked about players eventually leaving, and Barcola is clearly one of them, Luis Enrique says, if a player doesn't have a smile when he's here, when he's come to training, when he's at the game, maybe it's better to find a different solution. So Luis Enrique's message is something like, I'm not gonna force anyone to stay here. Who wants to stay here, good. Who wants to go, can go. Obviously, has to be financially with a sense for Paris Saint-Germain. On this one, guys, I keep telling you, Liverpool are working hard to sign Bradley Barcola. And it's been a story I've been following for months here on the channel. May, June, July, we are now in August. And I can tell you guys that my confidence, my feeling, speaking to my sources on Bradley Barcola to Liverpool is growing. The confidence is absolutely growing. So the chances to see Bradley Barcola joining Liverpool from Paris Saint-Germain are growing. Then a financial agreement is still needed, so let's wait the next steps of the negotiation, but direct talks are ongoing, the agreement with the player is okay, and Bradley Barcola remains the absolute top priority for Liverpool from Paris Saint-Germain. So the conversations will continue these days. I don't expect a breakthrough today, and also at the moment tomorrow doesn't look likely, but from next week they will be in contact again, and the Barcola story will be very interesting because Liverpool are on it. Then, to tell you more, guys, on all these big stories and big updates on Barcola, don't forget that obviously Liverpool are also working on a potential exit, because Liverpool didn't want to sell Cody Gakpo at the beginning of the market. During June, July, when Tottenham approached it, the answer for Liverpool was always, we want to keep the player, we don't want to open doors, we don't want to lose the player. But now, Liverpool, if they sign Bradley Barcola, could open doors to the exit of Cody Gakpo, destination Tottenham. That's a possibility we absolutely have to take in consideration. My understanding, as I told you in a video yesterday, is financial agreement, same as Barcola Liverpool, Gakpo Tottenham would not be a problem. So I don't see any problem on personal terms, but it's financial also in this case. So if Liverpool get Barcola, the financial agreement Tottenham-Liverpool for Cody Gakpo is also going to be the important and the key point. But talks are ongoing for Gakpo to Tottenham and for Barcola to Liverpool.
Now, come on. And of course, everyone was on it, weren't they? Well-known Parisian account, Roman CG75 said, the next sell one to buy PSG, that of Ibrahim and buy, and then perhaps that of Bradley Barcola. We all know what's coming now, don't we? It's like that little Shaq meme where we're shaking his shoulders with the cat, isn't he, a little bit? We'll go like, we know what's set to come. And wingers. Wingers are still the big thing in Liverpool's window. That Romano had it last night. Liverpool want Barcola and they're still trying. There's still a gap between what PSG want and what Liverpool offer, but they're still working. The clubs keep talking. Liverpool could add two wingers if Cody Gakpo goes to Spurs. Personal terms with Spurs are not an issue. Club to club, there's still work to do. I was going to say change, so I'm just going to say it anyway. But Liverpool are still in the mix for these two wingers. PSG have got about 80,000 of them who are ahead of Bradley Barcola and Ibrahim Mbaye, who we both got a little bit more info on yesterday. And really clear from parties that, as Romano even tweeted, I think, was this? Yeah, this was quite early, I think, wasn't it? Liverpool could have two wingers to the squad, especially if Gakpo, we'll talk about the Dutch reports as well. Barcola deal remains on, talks are ongoing. Ibrahim Mbaye on the list, but currently too expensive. Still not seeing any other right winger names. I know we've talked about Rayan previously. Alex Crook called him as a dream target. Everyone else seems to be sort of disappeared or filtered. Maybe they could come back around. Liverpool like revisiting homework, as we know, but you do wonder. Yeah, I think that maybe expectations too strong, but I'm going that way. And in fact, what made me laugh was the reports from France. I actually tweeted this. This is L'Equipe. In the AM, they actually put out stories saying Liverpool talks, because of the way they are going to step back and then they're going to go again for it in the last 10 days of the window. That was what L'Equipe put out in the AM. And in the PM, they'll make a move for Barcola in the next few days. Chronicles of Narnia style timeline. So you're seeing all different reporting. And if you don't believe me, had it in various sources. I mean, that, as it says, literally, I'll put it on the screen because GFFN there. That's what they said. Liverpool have paused negotiations with PSG for Bradley Barcola. They will return to discussions in the final 10 days of the window. To be fair, it's been a while since we had the same sort of outlet sort of switching back and forth, but it's not actually that long till the last 10 days at the window, you will argue. Le Parisien, the French outlet, they went with the second option as they put out Bradley Barcola, who announced that he won't extend his contract, could change clubs in the coming days. Now, someone's going to argue, coming days. How long's that? I get it. You're like me. You probably think like, right, get those two confirmed, but like surely developments in the next few days, you're not really sure, but he's not going to play against Como, isn't it? But you do want him in as quick as possible, because I am now actually thinking, is there a chance of getting Bradley Barcola in time so he can play against Newcastle? Especially if Cody Gakpo's wanting to go. We're waiting to see that. Yeah, and people are mentioning what about things like Savinho, Neto. They've kind of been dismissed. Savinho is still Spurs' top target, isn't he? Yeah. Not really that many solid names about. And Sasha Tablieri wrote, like a boomerang effect, as he called it, that Mika Goat's arrival at PSG will accelerate talks with Liverpool for Bradley Barcola. The Reds are aiming to submit a new proposal that could serve as the basis for negotiations. Paris await the offer. No shit. Captain Obvious reports like that type of thing. There you go, Andy reckons. Done by Wednesday, which should be enough time to be in the squad for Sunday, shouldn't it? And then, I mean, people just, I'll put it on the screen, but people were chiming in with reports that they knew. Ben Jacobs says Liverpool.
Brennan, your first few minutes in an Everton shirt, how's it feeling?
Yeah, it was incredible to be out there. Playing in front of the fans at the stadium was really special, and yeah, it just filled me with excitement to play many more games.
And it nearly ended in a good day for you, a really good day for you with the cross, and just missed out.
Yeah, I think it was nice to play with the lads, kind of get a feel for how they play, and yeah, as you said, I had a close one to getting on the end of it, but I'll keep trying to get on the end of everything I can.
What are you hoping for here?
Just a lot of success, I think. Unbelievable club, unbelievable fan base, and a really strong squad. So I think, to try and build on what the boys did last season and try and, play as well as we can and get as many points as we can.
And what has the manager said to you about your role? You want to get back to that sort of free, sort of running the defences.
Yeah, exactly that. I think, he was just speaking to me about what he thinks I do well and trying to help the team with kind of my style of play, being quite direct and trying to get on the end of things. So it's more of just trying to get back to what I can do best.
Electrifying starts. Cupra sponsors Sky Sports News Mornings.
From a Sky Sports perspective, this fits a pattern PSG have followed before with players whose stock is rising faster than their squad role. It's less about pushing someone out the door, and more about not being caught off guard if a serious offer lands. Barcola's situation this season has that exact profile. His minutes haven't dipped dramatically, but the competition for attacking places at PSG has intensified, and there's a growing sense inside the building that squad rotation could accelerate before this window shuts. When that happens, clubs like PSG tend to get ahead of it, quietly signaling that they're realistic, even if publicly they're saying all the right things about valuing the player. Liverpool's interest, meanwhile, isn't a fresh development, it's a continuation. What's changed is the tone. Earlier in the year, sources described it as background monitoring. Now, the language has shifted towards something more active. That doesn't mean movement is imminent. It means Liverpool have moved from watching to positioning. And positioning, on both sides, tends to accelerate once one party sends a signal the other can actually read. Which is precisely what's just happened. Right, let's get into the mechanics, because this is where it gets interesting. Sources close to the situation describe Liverpool's stance as consistent, not sudden. They've had Barcola on file for months. Internal conversations, data reviews, profile fits, nothing rushed, but nothing cooling off either. PSG's side, different story. Their message isn't, he's leaving. It's, we're not naive. Big difference in transfer language. One is a farewell, the other is a club protecting leverage. Here's the key detail nobody's talking about enough, valuation. PSG haven't dropped their number. Nothing suggests a discount market. If Liverpool want to turn interest into action, this remains a fee that requires total conviction from ownership downward. Personal terms, not discussed. Zero indication talks have opened on that front. Right now this is a scouting and stance story, not a negotiation story. So here we go with the honest state of play. Interest genuine, message real, timeline unclear. That's transfer news as it actually is, not always a countdown clock, sometimes just two clubs reading each other's next move. In Paris, the mood around this is more layered than outsiders might assume. Barcola remains popular within the squad, and there's genuine belief in his ceiling if he's given a defined role rather than rotated in and out. That's part of why this message wasn't delivered as a threat. Insiders describe it as almost protective, PSG wanting him to hear their commitment directly rather than through headlines. But there's realism sitting alongside that loyalty. The club's hierarchy has shown before that sentiment doesn't override structure. If a proposal arrives that satisfies their valuation and their long-term planning, conversations can move quickly. PSG's history under current leadership shows exactly that pattern. For now, though, the framing from within the building is calm. Not a farewell tour, not a lockdown either. A club simply making sure that whatever happens next, it happens on their terms, not through speculation dictating the pace. So strip away the noise, and here's the actual state of play. PSG have sent a message that's about control, not conclusion. Liverpool's interest has shifted from quiet to active, but not yet to formal. And Barcola himself sits in the middle of it, valued at home, watched from abroad, with no deadline forcing anyone's hand just yet. That's usually the stage where things either go quiet for weeks, or accelerate fast enough to catch everyone off guard. Given how this window's already behaved, don't bet on the quiet option.